Hi everyone, this is Jongyu from Yujogan TV YouTube channel, and this is the third video for actuarial validation model, and I need to fill out the third component in order to estimate the fulfillment cash flow, and let's begin with that one. This time, yeah, I have shown you this one instead of aggregator, and I'm gonna show you this part because it decomposed the cash outflows into claim and expense. And the expense side, actually for this sample, I don't have any historical data, so I made an actuarial judgment to say that expenses are categorized as different like pieces. One for, let's say, the contract acquisition expense, including, like to get a new contract, we need some of the overhead expense or commission directly, related, and also the policyholder management or policy administration, and also some of the like expenses to handle claims, and also there are some overhead costs, but you need to allocate that entry level overhead all the way down to the group of contract, especially you allocate that portion with this group of contract. What I have done is that I just have a premium or claim payment information here, so I just assume the fixed percentage of premium and claim and some of the additional proportion to reflect the overhead expense. So basically it is linked with the premium scenarios and claim scenario, and I applied some proportion out of it, and I put it in into like to come up with the fulfillment cash flow. So that one is later I'll show you the scenario, but right now uh, this is what I'm trying to get an estimate of fulfillment cash flow to do the onerous test on initial recognition 2013 third quarter, and then you can see now all the estimate of different pieces, the cash inflow and cash outflow, and building block 2 and risk adjustment. I tried to show you that what if we used, because I have the like each cash flow component as a 1000 scenario, so distribution estimate. So I have come up with the like separate, so premium side, like under the 75th percentile, the confidence level, how much is that for like premium side risk adjustment by the definition of like confidence level or value at risk technique, and RRC, the future claims payment and expense as well. And what if I apply the so-called famous square root rule? As you see, each one is like the times power 2 and some of those and get the square root out of it. That is 3.024 billion. And this one is different because standard says when you come up with the all different pieces of cash flows, you also have to like consider the correlation. So that is a diversification benefit, and like you can interpret it that way. It is not independent, you know what I'm saying? So when you have a contract, you collect the premium. The more premium you have, probably the more likely you have a bigger claim payment, right? And also, expense is not totally independent from premium and claims payment. As I already told you, we incurred certain amount of expenses related to policy administration or acquired due contract or claim settlement process. It's all related. So when it says the correlated, when we try to estimate the risk adjustment, how can we apply the like correlation? There is certain technique that we apply the rank correlation. That's what I did here. Oh, it's too small. Or let's say I have a, let's say, like now finalized 1,000 like different scenario of all different, cash flows. And there is a premium 1,000 scenario or claims 1,000 scenario or expense 1,000 scenario. And you have to, like apply the correlation out of among those three different cash flows. And how are you going to do that? If we, let's say, sort it ascending fashion, and you could get the ranks, right? From the smallest and biggest, you can get a rank run from 1 to 1,000. And then if I, impose the correlation, and then there is only ranks, like reshuffling. And based on this 25 correlation coefficient, and these are premium claims, premium expense, and claims and expense, those things. If I change it to 50, so you can see, like positively correlated, and then 75th, like more, and then it's like one correlation coefficient one is like what? Perfectly correlated, positively correlated. Oh, how can I? Yeah, something like this, right? But I assume 25% correlation coefficient. So once I reshuffle these ranks based on the like amount, this one, and out of those ranks, those cash flows are reshuffled as well to come up with to satisfy 25% correlation coefficient. And based on the fulfillment cash flow formula, uh, again, risk adjusted. These are all like discounted the present value. So risk adjusted present value estimate of cash outflows minus risk adjusted present value estimate of like you know like a cash outflows, inflows, right? So that formula is applied here, and I have a, let's say, without risk adjusted. So this one is to estimate the risk adjusted amount. So that is before the reshuffle, like three different like cash flow, scenario, and I reshuffled based on 25% correlation coefficient. And it's indeed, there is a 10,000, like distribution estimate of fulfillment cash flow without the risk adjustment. And there I applied the 75th percentile to come up with the risk adjustment figure here. And you can compare that one, right, after apply the correlation ranks, 3.03 billion opposed to 3.024 billion. That is only like, 6 million and 82,000 difference. It is like equivalent to 0.21%, which is quite similar. So That's how you come up with the risk adjustment based on 75th confidence level. And if you change it to, a 60th or 80th, it's gonna, change this number. And I added, I also include risk adjustment, and that is now fulfillment cash flow. Like negative means what? That is a net inflow. So this is a non-onerous group of contract, and that figure is going to be turned into positive, and that's the initial CSM. But it is on the condition that I'm satisfied with this onerous test on the initial recognition. And I'm gonna finalize this set of contract that I run the stochastic, running against this set of contract, and I finally conclude that I'm happy about the onerous test results, and this is one of non-onerous group of contract that I'm going to measure subsequently. That if I go to the aggregator, that's what it says. So I take the number from that one, and you can see all of this and all the different pieces and same CSM. And that one in the exhibit in the disclosure number 101, and that's this one, changes related to future service. And this one is, like summation of building block 1 and 2. And then RA is a building block 3. And initial CSM is here. And that's when I measure on like 2013 third quarter, second quarter, sorry. And I'm trying to transfer all the way up to 2021 December 31st. And I have the data. You know what I'm saying? That's another assumption. So between 2013 second quarter and 2021 fourth quarter year end, I have all the actual data. This is like transfer the initial recognition to here, and I have all the actual data. So if I apply that all the way up to 2021 December 21st to December 31st, and then I start from here, and then some of the actual cash inflows from the database, and there is also like inflow receivable as well, and there's some actual cash outflows and cash outflow payable as well. It has like claims and expense and everything. And the experience of adjustment says that like it just goes into all like it changes. That one is like for those period on the initial recognition, I estimate the the cash outflow, but actual cash outflow is different. So this one is like uh, I mean that is another story that just ignore it. And this one is probably the actual payment is bigger than the estimate of like claim cash outflow. So I have a loss a little bit over 3 million, 3 billion actually. And during that period, I provide the policyholder with the insurance service. I provide a coverage, and out of it, maybe risk adjustment, I claim this amount as a profit during this period. And CSM got allocated for each like future like remaining coverage, that out of it. But I need to like come up with the insurance finance expense, nothing for risk adjustment, but I have to do it on some of building block 1 and building block 2 and also CSM. And another, this is experience adjustment, but this is probably estimate adjustment. So this is like difference between the estimate of future like premium to receive and actual premium received shows such a difference. I mean this one says we collect like a lot the smaller premium received, and this is the only exception in the experience adjustment. So that's gonna like for the claim side, cash outflow is gonna be recorded in the like PL statement immediately after at the end of 2021 fourth quarter. But the premium side, this experience adjustment is goes into here, and we calculate the like subtract this one out of the CSM, and we come up with the insurance finance expense. And after that, like I allocate all the numbers for this period is this amount. So those are going to be recognized as a profit, and including this one, that's experience adjustment, and come up with this one as a realized profit between those two periods. And you have a closing balance like this, and this is like you know like measurement on initial recognition and like transfer or the measure subsequently up to 2021 year end to get ready to implement IFRS 17 starting from 2023 like January 1st, right? So this is like a transition, and yeah, you should have all the actual data, and then you go back to the 2013 second quarter, and as I have already shown you, you apply whatever full retrospective or modified retrospective based on standards, and you come up with the 2021 year end closing balance like this. And this is it. I mean, like, so some of, let's say, experience adjustment and estimate adjustment is going to be reflected on CSM. And the one that I have is that the on the assumption that like I can I need to also compare like estimate of those building blocks starting from 2022 all the way up to the end of contract boundary, either on initial recognition and the starting 2022 January 1st. That probably shows the like difference, and that goes into this amount as well, right? If it is different. But right now, for the convenience, this estimate adjustment is coming from experience adjustment only. But the period after 2021, the difference between the estimate of two different point in time on initial recognition and 2022 January 1st, if they show a difference, and that's gonna be called estimate adjustment, and that amount is probably should be reflected on this one. But right now, I just, like make an assumption that they are the same. There is no estimate adjustment. It is stays the same, but it's not true though, right? Just the illustration like convenience. I just assume they are the same, and if they are different, this actually is going to be different, right? That's going to be reflected in this value as well, right? So there are two different components. One coming from the experience adjustment for the premium side, and the other one is estimate adjustment difference for the future, like LRC estimation, and that's going to come into this portion. But right now there is a like loss, like a lot less premium we have received against the estimate of premium to receive. So that shows the like negative value to subtract from CSM, and this is done for the like a measurement on initial recognition, and also I apply the transition rule based on the full retrospective technique and fill out the 101. And this is part of the like measurement subsequently, right? After the like initial recognition. And I just show the like a small bit, but next video I'll step through the detail with some of the like more like visual illustration. And this is it for today. This is the third one, and I hope all of you can understand. But you have to know what the standard says, right? So, but anyhow, I finish up this video, and then I'll move on to the subsequent measurement because I need to get ready to prepare the financial statement for the first quarter of 2023, and probably I need to have like first quarter 2022 results to show the comparative figures. Okay, comparative like financial statement. I need to have the measurement results on end of March 31st, 2022, and that's another process of subsequent measurement out of year end 2021. So you should get ready to do or to validate the whatever like measurement results on your financial statement. This is what I do to validate your all the measurement results. Okay, like this is it for today, and yeah, see you in the next video. Bye.